Whoa, we're color-coded now. I closed the balcony door, so there's not gonna be any mosquitoes this time. Yeah, that was yesterday's joke. It should be pretty exciting. There's a lot of good stuff to be pulling if my predictions are right. Most of my predictions on these legendary banners has been about 60 to 70% accurate, and knowing intelligent systems, they probably might do this. Okay, so what's up, guys? This will be a legendary banner predictions for the 1st of May. We do have a pretty exciting prospect coming up with the fact that the greens will have a new legendary hero. That's going to be one of our first things to consider here. Some of these rules are from last time's legendary banner predictions. We're going to update them first because some of the rules were broken based on what we saw last time, because they ended up adding, they kind of just broke a couple of rules, guys. Like, they just ended up showing us that, you know, legendary banners are in the control of them and not to us. So let's see what we can do right away. There have not been any duplicates. This is officially a false statement. There have been duplicates. Only the brave heroes, though. That's one thing to consider. Only brave heroes have made an appearance as duplicates, and there were 2 at the same time. So we can use that information and maybe make a prediction for the upcoming legendary heroes that may make a return. So far, there have only been 5-star exclusives. I think that trend will continue. I don't expect to see any 3 or 4-star heroes on a legendary banner. It just doesn't seem like intelligent systems would do that. So now we've seen 2 brave heroes per banner. So now I would say that that is going to be my prediction going forward. They might seem to do that just to kind of like fill out the legendary banners. If these are going to happen every single month, I feel like the brave heroes are going to stay on these legendary banners going forward. That's going to be a bold prediction, but hopefully that is the case here. Let's see if that stays. 4 seasonals per banner has stayed the same since the very first legendary banner. I don't feel like that will change. And this legendary banner and going forward, it seems like they're going to have 1 legendary hero per color, because they seem to rotate out, you know, Fjorm for Ephraim, Ephraim for Fjorm, and now with Gunther sitting out, it means that we're likely going to have a green legendary hero, and it's going to be proven this banner. We'll see if that is actually the case. There were a couple of weird situations that happened with the seasonal units. Axura was the first of this, where they kind of like skipped the seasonals to go straight into performing arts, and they also seem to do that with Halloween now. Halloween did come early, so we need to consider Halloween came early. We need to consider that maybe Christmas might come early. So we're going to see if that happens during our considerations later on. As we make our considerations here, we're going to add to the list and see if we can start adding in some winter units here to see if they break that pattern. But if they do not, then that means that we can expect 2 other Halloween units and probably 2 performing arts units. That seems like it might be the case, but if it is not, then we may actually see some Christmas units come early, such as Winter Tharja. That would probably be the prime candidate here, because we know that they chose Performing Arts Azura as like the first unit who broke the pattern here, and she is definitely the most popular of that batch. So we'll see if those Christmas units do come early. Units that are so recent that they're added within the last month, this hasn't happened yet. The closest situation we've had of that has been the Ira, like the first legendary banner had Ira on it, and I think that was about a month or 2 gap between those 2 units, like her being released and showing up on legendary banner. So I'm not going to count any of the most recent units that came out. That means that Thrashia and such, I don't expect those units to show up. We might see something else though. Maybe Grima, maybe Harden may start showing up on these banners, so I feel like I'll add them to the considerations list and we'll go from there. One thing I did want to see here, so Gunthra, now we're going to change this. Gunthra is not coming back, so you have to assume the next colorless legendary is green, okay? So they cheated the colorless pool, and skipped Mist. Will they do it again? So that's the question, the ultimate question asked, will they actually be skipping Mist? Well, we'll find out, I guess. One thing I really want to take a look at, though, is going to be, will they add, you know, Hardened Grima here into these kind of things? Will they actually just keep pushing favorite characters, not favorite, but like really high demand characters. Because my considerations the past few legendary banners has been like, I've had these units here for a long time. I've had Carol here, I've had Leo here, I've had Lucina, Luke, Lynn, Saber, and such. But at this point, I'm starting to doubt that these units may ever appear. And this legendary banner will kind of prove it for me. So they chose to use Brave Lynn as the colorless unit that kind of like replaced Mist by making her rerun as a duplicate. Now, if they choose to just like totally rerun a 5-star exclusive, what I'm kind of saying is any 5-star colorless rerun, okay? It's gonna have to be between that, right? It's gonna have to be between Mist or any other 5-star colorless being rerun. So my biggest predictions for that would be like what? Takumi being some of the prime candidate, like one of the highest demand units. We'd have like Jenny or Elise, like those three being like super popular characters that people want, right? So will they choose to go for that, cash grab or money grab, or will they actually default to finally clearing out the whole 5-star colorless pool? That's the question to ask. If they choose not to use Mist this time in colorless, then I know for certain that a lot of these like non-popular characters in red could be cleared out. Some of the blue ones could also be cleared out that may not show themselves here. So we'll see as we go through our predictions. So we actually do have to add to our red colorless pool. I don't think they'll be rerunning anything, but at this point, I'm going to assume that, first of all, we have to add our legendary heroes here. Legendary Ike, Fjorm is coming back, Gunther is skipped, and we know that F. Grima is coming back here. So that's for sure. And my prediction is going to be a green legendary hero. I'll get into details for that in a moment once I get to green, but we know for certain there's likely going to be one of every single legendary hero going forward on all these banners. Now, because they showed in the last banner that they are indeed going to rerun these Brave heroes, I'm going to assume they're going to show up on every single legendary banner because they have so far. So this is a good opportunity to guess that Brave Roy is likely coming back, and as a result, Brave Ike should also be coming back. If we want to keep up the pattern that there were actually two Brave heroes that showed up again. And this is their way of like extending the lifespan of the legendary banners and keep rerunning these very popular heroes. There is a good chance that maybe in the future when Choose Your Legends 2 comes out that they replace the first Choose Your Legends heroes and they start showing up on the banners instead of the first ones. But that's going to be my strong guess here. Now, if we look at the actual seasonal units, I'm going to assume that, we're going to have 4, and that means that we actually have 2 performing arts units that haven't been used yet. That's PA Shigure. So I don't think they'll skip any seasonals yet because they haven't so far. And the other one is PA Inigo. So that clears up green for predictions. Seems like I don't think they would skip somebody like Inigo because he's actually a fairly decent unit. And Shigure just got released on his Wings of Fate banner, and I know he's a fairly popular character, plus he's a dancer. Dancers are actually quite good, so they're always useful to be pulled on legendary banners. And for example, PA Shigure has Blue Tome Valor. So if we've seen things like Summer Release being released, which really much is a Nino clone and has Green Tome Valor, I'm sure they won't be skipping PA Shigure, and that's why we can see something like Shigure and Inigo not being skipped. If we want to clear out Halloween, then we know that Halloween Jacob should show up. And the final one for Halloween was Halloween Henry. Oh, if we have Halloween Henry showing up, that means that Brave Ike may not show up this legendary banner. It becomes a situation where Inigo might actually get benched. Okay, so based on that criteria that Halloween Henry comes out, he's actually quite popular and they do have to kind of clear him out. One of two things happen. Halloween Henry gets skipped for the next one in favor of a Christmas unit, or PA Inigo gets skipped in favor of a Christmas unit. If that's the case, then I'm going to be pretty adamant about this, and I'm just going to follow the pattern that 2 Brave heroes are used just like last time. And if they're going to use a seasonal unit coming from the winter units, I strongly believe that the first one we'll see is Winter Tharja. It definitely won't be the greens because the greens are quite saturated right now. So Winter Tharja is my bold statement here. I don't expect Christmas Robin to come back. So I think Winter Tharja, Brave Roy, and Legendary Ike are here. PA Indigo, Brave Ike, and Green Legendary Hero. The alternative solution to this is PA Indigo gets skipped and Halloween Henry shows up. But I think they will use PA Indigo because he has to make an appearance at some point. If not, he'll show up on the next Legendary banner. I'm gonna make sure I just make that clear to you guys. If it's either gonna be PA Indigo or Halloween Henry here. We're gonna follow the patterns of what we have. So now we come down to the actual filler heroes, the heroes that don't cover the rest of the spots. We know the Green Legendary Hero is a mystery. We don't know what's happening here, but if we're going to see what's in the final slot here, we're gonna guess that it's either Mist or a 5-star exclusive rerun. Okay, so that's gonna be, if I'm gonna guess boldly, it's gonna be Takumi, Jenny, or Elise, just based on popularity. It's kind of like what they did last time with Brave Lynn. So that clears up our colorless, that clears up our greens. If they intend to not use Mist in the Legendary banner here, it does mean that we will likely be cutting out a lot of these considerations that happened from previous banners. There's actually no filler content in red or green because we're using our Brave Heroes and we're using the seasonal units, which means that the only really filler units we've had is going to be in colorless this time and in blue. So how can we actually think about blue? Well, what we've seen from previous banners is that Zelgius made an appearance, and if we're gonna consider how they use, pretty much the banners, it means that, if you just think about it previously, like the banner, the FE4 banner, for instance, had Zygarde, they had Ira, and they had Daedra. They've all shown up on a banner. It seems like they don't kind of skip those 5-star exclusives, so I actually strongly believe that since Zelgius showed up on the previous banner, that my best prediction for this will actually be Micaiah showing up on the blue slot. It just seems like they would use whatever is, most popular here. That makes our predictions pretty fair to say. I want to talk a little bit about the Green Legendary Hero then. The Green Legendary Hero, so they've rerun Earth, so we know that they're probably not going to be an Earth Legendary Hero, which means they should be either a Fire, a Wind, or a Water. And we know that there's going to be 16 Legendary Heroes in total. We knew that last time it was a colorless dragon that showed up, but this time we're in the dark. The only clue we have for a Green Legendary Hero, actually guys, is this clue. If you guys don't already know, if you go to Inherit Skill, you skill search, you look at this, and we see here that there's colored bows. Well, that seems to be our only hint here, that maybe the new Legendary Hero could follow this sort of hint, just like last time. Last time we saw a colorless dragon show up, this time we see colored bows. And if that's what we can assume, then off that hint, then maybe we can guess that it is actually a green bow user. Now, if it is a green bow user, let's look at our Legendary Heroes so far. We have original characters like Fjorm and Gunthra, and then we have legendary heroes from their fitting video games, or gods in the case of Grima, but what you're looking at is very powerful or important characters from their games, and likely also sell well. People will spend orbs for these sort of characters. So what does that mean? Which main protagonists use bows? Well, we know that Alm actually used one, and we know that Lyn actually used one. Now, which fitting attributes would fit those characters? Well, Lyn would be wind and giving speed, and Alm, I guess Alm would have to be like earth or fire. These are the only two bow users it would be. Now, if it isn't Alm or Lyn, then we know that, this hint here was just kind of like a bait for us, and it truly wasn't a green bow user. If it isn't a green bow user, and we want to follow another pattern that happened in based on the previous Legendary Heroes, we had F. Grima show up when we saw Chrom on a horse show up. They kind of had like similar themes, right, on that certain month. So for instance, we had Legendary Ike show up when Zelgius and Micaiah were kind of featured. We had Legendary Ephraim show up with the Sacred Memories banner with Erica on a horse and Myrrh and such, right? So this month we've had Fates characters, and we haven't had a Fates Legendary Hero yet. If we're going to guess for Fates Legendary Heroes, as much as I would like it to happen, Garon would probably be a good fitting green axe user. But if you want to be really creative with this, I think it could be some sort of green Corrin axe user using Bulwark. So Corrin with an axe using a Bulwark? That's going to be, yeah, that's going to be kind of an interesting guess from me. But I think that might be, you know, something that happens. Because I don't feel like Garon would show up as Legendary Hero. But they might do Corrin with some kind of like, maybe he took his dad's axe or something. And, you know, that ended up being the thing. So if I'm going to guess for Legendary Heroes, green Legendary Heroes, it's going to be an axe user or it's going to be a green bow user. Lyn and Alm being the greens for that. Or Corrin using Bulwark if you want to fit the theme of a Fates Legendary Hero. So I hope you guys, you know, took something from these predictions. It should be pretty exciting. There's a lot of good stuff to be pulling if my predictions are right. Most of my predictions on these legendary banners has been about 60 to 70% accurate, so I'm likely to make some mistakes, especially if they break some patterns. You know, like Mist not showing up again and they end up doing like Takumi or something. I don't think I'd actually be complaining. I do want to be pulling colorless. But these, if it ends up being like this, it could be really nice, guys. So could you imagine Legendary Ike, Brave Roy, and Winter Tharja on red? That's going to be really good. All these units in blue would be really good. So this would be a really high quality Legendary banner if it was to be released like this. And knowing Intelligent Systems, they probably might do this. Okay, guys? So I know. Thanks for watching, and hopefully we get some pretty hype stuff coming up, guys. Peace out.